hello, and just buying some time as we get started over on LinkedIn. But here we go. So good morning and welcome. It's 9:45, and that means it's time for the messy middle with me, Jackie Handy, and
me, Helen Joy.
Together we have been, have you been following? Together we have been putting together these 10-minute live sessions, 10 before 10 as we used to remember them as in our sales roles. And this is 10 minutes of no fluff gold to help you if you're a new manager, if you're a seasoned pro, or if you're curious about to help navigate the complexity of leadership in today's workplaces. Today we are spending this next 10 minutes talking about conflict. Don't you just love it? Conflict happens. It happens in all workplaces. And we've got 3 tips each to share with you today. Now, if you're watching live with us, then feel free to hit us up with your comments right here in the chat. And if you're watching replay, let us know, has this been helpful? And if so, what are you applying in your work? So without further ado, Helen, let's begin with you. What's your first tip today all about this wonderful topic of conflict?
My first tip is that conflict needs better PR. Because we say the word conflict, you did it as well, that whole conflict, it's a really negative perception that we have about the word conflict. And it's not always a negative thing. Conflict can be a real positive. Conflict is fundamentally 2 or more different perspectives that people have got emotional about.
Right.
And all it is, if you think about, if we didn't ever have conflict, a difference of opinion, difference of perspective, nothing would ever change. Because conflict is the crucible and the foundation of change and positivity and growth and all those things, if we can get over the emotional side of it. And that's my first tip. Don't all that conflict has to be a negative.
Yeah, and sorry if you, one or both of us are sticking a little bit today, if we're freezing a bit on camera. It's just that Monday morning lag. Don't we all have that? But yeah, you're quite right, Helen, and I agree. Conflict, I mean, just for the viewers, go and check out the conflict continuum. And it really explains that conflict is literally on a continuum. Healthy conflict is a good thing. We need to have that. But here's the thing. If you are going to cultivate all of the positive things that Helen's just mentioned there about growth and innovation and creativity, and you want to therefore enable conflict to exist in your team, which you should, psychological safety, unsurprisingly, has to be present in order for that conflict to be constructive. So you've got to be able to have an environment when it's okay to speak up, when it's all right to say, I don't know, and it's also equally all right to say, you know, I don't agree. I have a different opinion. It's not about a lack of respect, but it is about being able to feel safe to speak your mind and put your point of view across, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it is that safety to be able to say, I don't agree.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's all just festering, isn't it? It's all just simmering away. The conflict's there, it's just not voiced.
Right.
And that's my next tip is don't avoid it. If you can see it, if you can feel it, if you can sense it, if you can see that people aren't agreeing, they're not talking about it, or they're talking about it too much and that's all they talk about, or they're getting emotional and overly assertive about it, don't avoid it. As a manager, your role is to go in there and get curious about that. Now, both of us have our themes and our threads and our things that have run through all of these different sessions, and mine is all about that curiosity. It is about asking the questions to find out what's going on, what is happening, and just helping people to recognize that, yes, there's a difference of opinion, but let's find out why. Let's ask some questions.
Yeah, totally. And that links really nicely to my point as well, is that, conflict often happens. I think one of my red threads that's run through these, Helen, has been that whole we need to know our people better. And it's so, so simple, but we make it so complex. And actually, conflict often arises not because of what's on the surface, but what's beneath the surface. And so often it's those unmet needs that we have. Now, we were just talking off camera, we won't digress too much, but both of our mums have lived with dementia. They're either living or have lived with dementia. And often in dementia patients, they're unable to communicate their needs. And, that's very, very tricky to support them. Now, imagine for people in your teams who also, for different reasons, may also feel unable to voice their unmet needs. If you're not digging into that root cause, if you're not, as you say, Helen, getting curious, digging into what people really do need, then how on earth can we work with them, and how on earth can we support them? So that's my second tip, is to really dig into those unmet needs. What are you not seeing under the surface that if you did would help you navigate these challenges so much easier?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that again, leads really nicely into my final point, which is conflict can be emotional. It can create really strong emotions in people, whether they be the kind of upset emotions or the angry emotions or the whole gamut of things that run in between of those. And what it can drive us to do is to really want to focus on winning this point, on I'm going to win because my point's right. You're wrong, I'm right. And actually, it's not always about one person winning. It is about finding a solution that works for everyone, for the business, for the whoever else is involved in that difference of opinion. And if we can focus on what's the best step forward and take the emotion out of it, that's the way to go. Don't think about this suddenly becoming something that I've got to win this. I've got to get ahead, because it's about a solution, not a winner or a loser.
Absolutely. And, we're both very familiar with the Thomas Kilmann conflict model, and there are different types of conflict that are relevant in different situations. I do actually think it is much easier than these kind of models sometimes create. However, there is a model that I'd like to reference for my last point, and that is Patrick Lencioni's model of the 5 dysfunctions of a team, which works to prove that alongside a foundation of trust, there's that psychological safety, and of course the curiosity that we've talked about too, is that healthy conflict is a predictor of team success. So you can almost see us having kind of gone a full circle with this conversation, that without conflict, if you're just constantly hiding or avoiding conflict or hiding it under the carpet, then it never rears its head. It never gets dealt with. There's always tension, and you never get creative, innovative, and you're never going to have ultimate harmony in the future. So get clear on it. Recognize that healthy conflict is a proven predictor of team success. So not only will your people thank you for it, but your team and your organization will thank you for mediating well and actually leaning into conflict rather than avoiding it. So there we go. 3 tips each from Helen and I about conflict today. What do you think? Do let us know, as always. Let us know your thoughts. You can work with us independently, collectively, if you wish, as well, on this and many more leadership topics. We have a collective experience of about 4 decades, I think, Helen, which makes me feel very old. I don't know about you. Not each, by the way, collectively, just to be clear. Next week, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we'll be telling you more about this on our upcoming socials. But we're hoping to do a lunchtime live for a whole hour. Aren't you lucky people? So if you fancy joining us, why not let us know in the comments, and also we will be posting the life out of it, I'm sure, in the week ahead. But I posted earlier about going to Germany. I said, I'm going to be on a plane. And I wasn't on a plane, was I? Because I pre-recorded that. But this is live. And I am dashing out of the door now to get on my flight to Germany. So, Helen, thank you, as always, for your contribution. Absolute gold, my friend.
Thank you.
And to all of you, thank you for watching on replay. We're going to see you soon. Our 10 minutes is up. So whatever you're doing, wherever you are, have a wonderful week ahead and enjoy navigating the messy middle.
Bye.